Hello, I'm Edward Konowski, and we are in my sports training room. Today I will be teaching you how to tape various body parts for if they get sprained or injured. Hello, in this procedure we are going to tape the fingers. This is for when your fingers are sprained and you shouldn't really move them that much. So what we're going to do, we have a normal piece of tape. We're going to divide it in half, just like so. We're going to put a single strand of tape below the knuckle, close to the hand. Make sure it's nice and tight, but not too tight. And then we're going to do it on the other side of the knuckles, towards the fingertips. Just like so. And there we go. That is how you tape a finger. This is how you tape a wrist. So you're gonna start with pre-wrap about a third away from the hand, you know. You're gonna pre-wrap all the way onto the hand, over the thumb.
No. That's
and
not
then
fun.
Like that. And if you're really feeling it, you can go back around. But I'm running low on pre-wrap. And then what you're gonna do, you're gonna first anchor. Yeah, anchor.
Supposed to fold that part.
Rip. Shut. Like so.
Say that you fold it.
You fold it like so, as you just saw, right? Then you're gonna put an anchor over on this end. And this one's important to have it not be really, really tight, because that's what makes it. Is that too tight?
No, it's good.
Perfect. So then what you're gonna do is you're gonna measure this distance and you're gonna create fans. So depending on how the wrist is injured, if it's injured, if you don't want to move it this way, you want to put fans on this side, and vice versa. So we're gonna measure it. If you may, please have your hand like this, and then you're just gonna put one down. Measure the same distance. Repeat, but sort of teetered, off at an angle. You're gonna measure once more. And then with this one, you're gonna make a fan in the opposite direction, such as that. And after that, you're gonna want to anchor it all, make it look nice. If you're really feeling like you really don't want to move it, or if it's extremely sprained, I would suggest doing 2 fans. And 2 fans on each side, because that's how you'd be safe. So we're just gonna go all around. I taped. And so for the wrist, for the thumb area, you want to fold it as to not create irritation on your patient. And just like that, you have a taped wrist. Behold.
So, it seems like our patient today, Emmett, has severed his leg. That's no good. So, we're gonna try our best to mend that with our limited skills.
Okay, so Emmett here has severed his leg. Usually in this scenario, you would want to preserve the body part and stop the bleeding and put a tourniquet around it. But using our limited sportsman athletic training knowledge, we're gonna tape his severed leg. So the procedure I'm gonna show you is to tape and immobilize Emmett's ankle. Usually you would ask the patient to hyperextend their foot so it's more, straight. But currently Emmett's leg's not attached to his body, so he cannot move it. So we're gonna be stuck with this. So in order to start, you grab your pre-wrap and you start about at the arch of the calf, about here, and you wrap that tight, tight, tight all the way to the end of his foot. So when you're about there, that's when you can call it. That's a pretty well taped knee, I'd say. And to begin, I adjust my camera, and you grab your sports tape, try and get it out, and you're gonna apply anchors to where half of the tape is touching the pre-wrap and half is touching the skin, as to keep the wrap on. Make sure that's nice and tight. And then you're gonna do the same thing on the top half too. Make sure it contours to every muscle. There we go. And you want to make sure that any other anchors are not very, very tight. Otherwise, it will constrict their blood flow and turn their foot purple, and you don't want that, nor does your patient. But in this case, blood flow has ceased. So to continue, you put 1 or 2 more C-strips or anchors here. I'm just gonna put 1 to save tape. And then what you're gonna do is, depending on which way you want to prevent, and you're going to start from here on the anchors that you just made on the bottom of the foot and back up to the opposite side from where you started. Now what this does, it restricts movement of the foot in this way, or ankle, I should say. And then you're gonna do another one about right there. Around the foot. And right there. Rip, place. And then you're just gonna do one more. Here we go. Sometimes that happens if your patient is finicky. There we go. So once you're done with that bit, what you want to do is that you want to anchor these down so they don't come loose. So you're going to reapply the anchors that you first did. So it's wrapping all around the big ones that you just did, right? And you're going to continue that all the way down to the foot. So about when you get to this point of the foot, you're going to want to do what we call horseshoes. This is where, instead of doing a C-strip all the way around, you're going to start here, and in the shape of a horseshoe, just end it about there, and not go all the way around. Otherwise, it just doesn't work that well. And you can just continue that here. Just move that foot real quick, like that. Alright, so once you have all of your C-straps all the way down the leg, and then you have your horseshoes, what you want to then start doing are your heel locks. And how you do your heel locks is that you start on this from the top of the foot here, you go under the arch of the foot, back over, and then you want to do a loop around the heel, thus calling it a heel lock, and then back up towards the back up towards the shin like that. You want to repeat that at least once more time. I already have because I had to practice. And after you perform your 2 heel locks, you then want to perform your 2 figure eights. Maybe calling it a 16. So how you do that is you start here, you go underneath your foot, up, back, around, and then around the shin, ending back where you started. And then you're going to do that once more, around, and then back down, and then back up. And after you have completed your 2 figure eights, what you should do, right? So do all your C strips again, make it look real nice, and it's yeah. And once we are done with all of these C strips, we will have been completed with saving this man's life, practically. When he gets this limb sewn back on, his ankle won't hurt as much. So yeah, if you take a look at that, this is how you tape an ankle. Thank you. Alright, let me try these guys first. Okay, it's working pretty good. Not as good as I want it to. Oh, and it's scratching them up. Oh no. Oh shit, it's a shark. Oh shit. It's tight around this bit. Okay, so Emmett has lost control of his shoulder. So what we need to do is to perform a shoulder spike up. And that's what I'm going to show you. So, as you can see, no control over the arm, or over the shoulder, right? So this is using an elastic band. So I'm going to wrap the elastic around, making sure I'm going this way, because what we're going to do here, usually you would wrap it a few times around the arm, but with my limited resources, I cannot. So after that, you're going to wrap it around his chest. And then behind his back. Alright. And then back around the arm. And then you can repeat this process as much as you can until you run out of elastic tape, which I have. Alright, so after you shoulder spiked your victim, what you want to do is you have to secure it with sports tape. Yeah? And so the motion is basically is nearly the same. So you wrap it around the arm, around the elastic, then around the elastic on the chest. Let's see, I'm running out of sports tape here. And then so you go back around, all the way around, right? And yeah, you end it at the arm, and that's how you shoulder spike someone. Ugh. All right, so I'm now gonna be showing you how to tape the elbow. Usually, when you tape the elbow, you do not want it to be in this adducted position, because what's the point of taping it at this position if it's not at a neutral position? But Emmett doesn't have control over his limbs, so we're gonna work with what we got. So, to first start, pre-wrap, because what you're gonna be doing here is taping anchors at 2 points of his arms, which I will show you in 1 second after I get this pre-wrap on. And so you want to end the pre-wrap around like halfway to his like forearm muscles. Alright? So once you got that down, you get your sports tape. You don't want the beautiful pre-wrap you just laid down to run away, so you want to tape it down all around with an anchor. There we go. And then you do one more on the other side, which is about right there. All around. Usually you would not be able to manipulate a patient's elbow like this, but in my lucky circumstance I can. So just be aware of that when you are basing your tapings off this tutorial. Don't try and bend your patient's arm like this. I feel like that probably hurt. So let's say we want him to keep this nice 90-degree position, which you usually don't want to. But the process of how we're going to do that is we're going to measure it. So it's going to be a bit short. Basically what you want to do is you get this strip and then you measure it. Measure 2 more strips. And then you want to have them about off-kilter to another. So it looks like a form of fan. Sort of like this, right? And what you're gonna do with this fan is you're gonna put it here, since we don't want him going like that. We want him to stay here. We're gonna go put it about right there. Ooh, so I have big time haven't measured that wrong. So I'm just gonna go again. Measure it better this time, much more longer. Do my second. I'm doing my third. So after that, I've made my fan again, as you can see. I'm gonna place that from one anchor. And what I did wrong last time is that I did not make it long enough to reach this other anchor. So yeah, be sure to do that. So once you've got 2 anchors, or 2 fans down, you want to tape over them at the anchor points, so they stay in place and they don't fall out when your patient tries to extend. Gonna do this same part over here. And there we go. And now, after you have applied your anchors after your fans, right? What you want to do is you want to get out your elastic tape, and you want to cover it up so it keeps all the wrappings all nice and secure. It also restricts the arm really good to prevent further movement. You just want to wrap all around, but only the wrap. Do not wrap, not the wrap. And you want to just go as with the mat as much wrap as you got. And that's the end of my rope. So once you're at this point, you want to fold it and tuck it so it does not fall out and it looks nice. And if you'd like, you can get a piece of sports tape if you want to make sure it doesn't fall out. Just tape it right there. Nice and secure. You've got a perfectly taped elbow. Alright, so Emmett here messed up his knee. Probably like fell on it. I don't know. But here's his leg, and look at that. So you want to have the knee at about that position. We are going to tape his. I'm going to show you how to tape a knee to prevent hyperextensions. So first you're gonna start out with pre-wrap, a little bit above the knee. Gonna wrap. You're gonna try and avoid the kneecap as much as you can with all your tape. Oh no. We're gonna use it anyways. In a usual scenario, if you would scrap that sports tape because that is unsanitary. But Emmett here doesn't care about his safety. Go ahead, please. Alright, so that's pretty much well taped. You'll want to grab your sports tape, put an anchor where your pre-tape or pre-wrap has ended. Right there. Then you're going to want to put another anchor or C-strip about right here. Alright, so now that you've got your anchors down, you want to go to the back of the knee, right? And what you're gonna do is you're gonna make some fans. So you're gonna measure it out. Ooh. So usually when you're doing fans like this, it's better to have 2-ply anchors as to give your fans the best support, right? You won't want your fans to fail. So go wrap. There we go. So we've got 2-ply there. Gonna go 2-ply at the bottom, right? Alright, so now, back of the knee, right? So we're gonna do some fans, measure it out, anchor to anchor, apply there, there's your first fan, start of your first fan, measure, rip, and place. Bit off kilter, notice, see? I'm gonna go like this one more time. So, after that, you want to apply another fan, but I'm not going to do that in the essence of saving tape. So after your 2 fans, you want to reapply your anchors, right? Make sure those fans don't go anywhere. Go back down to the bottom one. There we go. So after you wrap the knee in this manner, you've got your 2 fans, you've got your anchors, you're going to want to apply it elastic. And my elastic isn't exactly rolled up right now, but I'm just going to roll with it. Try my best. So usually it'd be rolled up. I forgot to roll it up, I suppose. Now it's going to be really, really hard. My elastic isn't exactly stretchy because it's not exactly elastic, but we're going to try our best here. Like that. Up, around. What you're doing here is you're just protecting your tape with the elastic. So once you hit the top, you go back down, and you just use all the wrap you've got. Alright, after it's all nice and wrapped, you get your tape, and you just tape it down, such as that. That's not going to hold, I don't think, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to wrap it all the way around as to give it the most protection. There we go. And there we go. Got a perfectly taped knee. Now he cannot hyperextend. It's not like he could move it in the first place. Alright, so Emmett here, he's wearing some hip pads. I want to help him with that, so we're gonna perform a hip spica, and I'm gonna show you. So, what you're gonna want to do is you have your elastic tape. Want to start on the thigh about here. Usually, you wrap it one or a few times, right? But for the sake of my elastic tape, which is not very long, just gonna wrap it twice. But even then, I don't think it's gonna reach all the way around. So you're gonna want to go around his waist, behind his back, and back down. And you're gonna repeat that. And once you're done with that, you're gonna want to tape it up so it doesn't fall apart. So grab me with my tape. Try and hold it there. Like that. Nice. Now, looks like he's wearing a skirt. There you go. And that's how you do a hip spica. Alright, here you go. Right now, I'm going to show you how to tape a quad. I was about to say thigh. But yeah, so the quad muscle is this huge guy right here. And what we're gonna do to start is always pre-wrap. You don't want to rip all his hairs off. Oh god, that will happen sometimes. There we go. There we go. Up. All around that big old quad. And you're gonna want to end right below his knee, or right above his knee. There we go. And be sure not to tape over his knee. I have misplaced my sports tape, it seems like. So, after you got your pre-wrap on, what you're gonna want to do after this is put down your anchors. So with your lesser quality tape with hairs on it, we're gonna wrap this huge quad all the way around. Jesus Christ. Just like so. We anchor it down. Right? Remember, like I said, you usually can't manipulate patients like this, but this is a severed leg, so yeah, just keep that in mind. But you're gonna want to put 2 anchors at the end of your pre-wrap to keep your pre-wrap safe. And also act as anchors for the tape we're gonna have up ahead. So notice, I have the tape here. I'm not sure if you can see that, but like, it ends here, and his knee's here. And you want to make sure it's not over his knee, or else that will be bad. What you're gonna do is put an anchor on the side of his leg, such as this, right? And then you're gonna want to do it on the opposite side, so about like right there, because this is his quad. You can see the indent there. Okay, that's a pretty weak one, but we are fine. Alright, pretty weak, doesn't even go all the way, but we're fine. So, we're gonna re-anchor these 2 anchors that we just made. And just like so. Gonna do the same thing for the one on the bottom. Crap, you guys can't see that. Let me scoot you guys back a little. Right, now you can see the quad properly. We're gonna re-anchor it. Just like so. Alright. So now, what you're going to want to do is begin your crisscross quad taping. And how you do that, usually you just you pre-make it and then just apply it. That's the easy way, but I'm gonna challenge myself right now. I'm going to put them on manually. So how you're gonna want to do that is that you want to go diagonal, corner to corner, and I've done a good job of that right now. As you see, at a corner, another corner, pretty good. And then the next step here, so you want to go from this corner, right? And you want to go down to the opposite corner. Or should I say up the opposite corner. Like that. Got a big old X. And now, I'm gonna go half on, half off of the previous one you made. I'm just gonna go like that. And I'm gonna do the same thing, the opposite one. And we're getting a nice cross stitch pattern here now, you see? Look at that. Same thing goes here. It's very repetitive, but it's very rewarding to know that your patience is gonna feel better, you know? So, I find a helpful tip is to start where you want to cover up, you know, the yellow. That's the goal here. Makes it look nice. And then go to the end. So if you start here and you're trying to cover up here, might not end so well. Alright, so once you have finished making that nice lattice, making that nice cross stitch, what you gonna do is retape this anchor and retape this anchor. So I'm gonna do that now. And what this does is cover and secure your quad taping so it doesn't come loose, you know? And after you get those guys done, what you want to do is retape these guys. So, look at that. That is a perfectly taped quad. Alright.
Okay, for this one, there's gonna be no face, but look at these hands. Look at these hands. Wow. So, I'm gonna show you how to tape your thumb. If your thumb's all messed up, you know, if you go like whoa, or if you go like whoa, you know. But this will be focusing more like on oh, you know. So, what you're gonna want to do, you're gonna want to pre-wrap your thumb, such as this. Right. Pre-wrap the hand. And I'm not sure if pre-wrap's actually necessary, but you know. So then you're gonna want to anchor. Oh, Alright. So now you're gonna want to anchor your hand. I'm just gonna pre-rip it, you know, so I don't have to rip it while it's on my hand. Right. Oh jeez, I've never done this all myself. Right. Just like as so, around the hand. That usually should be together, but don't mind that for now. Now what you're gonna want to do is you want to get some tape, and you're gonna want to divide it. Long strip of tape. What you're gonna want to do here is you want to rip it in half. And then with that, what you want to do, right, is crap. Okay, so I messed this up, and I forgot to put an anchor on the other side of my hand. So we're just gonna do a long strip of tape, and we're going to put it about right there. Go around the hand. Ugh. Alright, doesn't look the prettiest, but it will function. Right. So, thumb still free. We can't have that. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna go like this, apply it there, and we're gonna do the figure eights around the thumb, such as just like that. And I gotta rip that, but I can't. There. There we go, there. Oh, look at that. Alright. Now the other side that you ripped, like that. Struggling here. Alright, there we go. And just like that. Right? So now we're gonna want to go like this. Ah, crap. No, we're just gonna. Right, and now it's wider. Now you're gonna want to anchor that down. Get my big old strip of tape. There we go. Now just put it right here. Like that. Like that. And now your thumb is anchored and is restricted. Alright. Thumbs up, guys.
If you haven't noticed yet, my quote-unquote elastic tape is a curtain that I cut up just now. Yeah, I have to grab elastic tape. What is? Alright, hey there again, guys. Emmett here's got some hip problems, and he needs to be spiking, so I'm gonna show you how to do that. Got my elastic tape here. Alright, so I've got to stand them upright. So, how are you gonna start? You're gonna go about here on the